Hey, what is going on everybody? So today we're going to be talking about the iPad 7th generation, and this video is going to be basically how is this thing held up for 1 year. It's hard to believe, but this thing is already a year old. I got it last year around the end of November, so here's my year update and I guess final thoughts and review of the iPad 7th generation. So why did I get the iPad 7th gen? Well, I had an iPad mini 2 and it got unsupported, it started getting really slow, and I just needed a new iPad. Well, Apple came out with this one. Now this one was much different than the 9.7-inch iPad that we've been able to get for quite some time. So compare this to the 6th gen. This one had the bigger screen, the 10.2-inch screen. It had the inclusion of the smart connector, which you can't see it, but I promise you it's there. This also got the A10 chip, and that is really my only concern, is that A10 chip. And then finally, it also got an extra gigabyte of RAM to handle the multitasking, the slide over, and things like that in iPadOS. But yeah, the main reason why I got this device is I needed a new iPad to replace my old one. My first instinct, of course, was to go with the Mini again. They had the iPad Mini 5, but the Mini 5 was several dollars more than this one. This one was also bigger. It just seemed like a better buy in my opinion, and it's Apple's most popular iPad, so it can't be bad, right? Well, overall, I'm glad that I decided to go with the bigger iPad here, and it's been fantastic over this past year. I really like the bigger screen, and I'm probably never going to go back to an iPad mini form again. So what are my main uses for this iPad? What's it, how I've been using it over the past year? Well, really, I just use this as, I guess you would say, a consumption of a device. I watch a lot of YouTube on this thing. I read a lot of articles and books and things like that. I use this for a lot of school-related items, so Microsoft Office things and working on, assignments and all that good stuff. And most of the time I have found myself actually grabbing the iPad instead of my MacBook Air. It's just so much easier to grab this, and iPadOS has changed a lot of things to where I can now, just put two apps side by side and have another one in slide over, and that's pretty much all I need. I can be typing something up while referencing something on the other side while listening to music in Spotify. So, some things like that is how I use this iPad. And this iPad really hasn't gone anywhere with me too much. I mean, the whole situation now. But yeah, I keep it at home most of the time. And like I said, it's just so much easier to grab this thing than to grab the laptop. And this handles everything I need it to do. Also, I picked up the Apple Pencil 1st generation because this iPad supports it, of course. And I'm very pleased with the Apple Pencil, so I have several videos about that. You can check it out. But I use GoodNotes 5 to take all my notes and basically all my Apple Pencil related needs, and it really does the job well. The Apple Pencil, my first experience with it, it works great on this iPad. The only thing, of course, is that non-laminated display could, be a deal breaker for some, but really it's not bad whatsoever. So how has the iPad been doing over this past year of use? It's been fantastic. I mean, I've had no major issues with it whatsoever. There have been a few times where I guess I've ran out of RAM, and this thing only has 3 gigs of RAM, and definitely a good thing that Apple decided to upgrade it to that 3 gigs, because it definitely needs every single bit of that, and it probably needs 4, to be honest with you. There's times where I would be multitasking and the app would have to reload, or if you have too many tabs in Safari, it has to reload. Or even if you switch back and forth between, maybe 2 or 3 apps, you'll notice that they have to reload. So that's just something that's, been an issue with me. If you do like a lot of multitasking and, slide over, all sorts of things like that, if you do a lot of that, you may want to, get an iPad with more RAM. Like the iPad Air, the new one, might be better for you, or you might just need to go to that iPad Pro and get that, 6 gigs, I believe, in that one. But yeah, I've noticed multitasking with this thing, you definitely see that lack of RAM. Other than the lack of RAM though, there's nothing wrong with this thing. Fortunately, I haven't damaged it. I take good care of my devices. I don't drop them. They're all in cases. You can see this one's in a case. It's been in a case since I got it. The other thing that was a little concern was that A10 chip like I mentioned earlier, but honestly with iPad OS it's just so well optimized, and the same thing with iOS as well. You know, you can have a really old device running iOS 14 and it's still just amazingly fast. And that's exactly how this iPad is. It hasn't had a slow down yet. It just glides through everything you want to do. The only thing, of course, is stuff having to reload every once in a while, but it loads up quickly and it's really not a deal breaker for me, I guess. But performance-wise over the past year, it's held up. It's handled everything I've thrown at it. This thing can handle, you know, editing videos if you want it to, things like that. I mean, this really is truly the iPad for most people. Now, a few things that I love about this iPad and a few things that I don't like about it. So first off, I love the 10.2-inch screen. I'm very happy that I decided to go with this one, and I'm happy that Apple decided to make this change from the 9.7-inch. Also, the size, I think, is just perfect. I mean, it's not too big, it's not heavy, and it's very easy to just toss in your bag, or you lay around the house or something and you can use it no problem. And like I said, it's really replacing my laptop every single day. If I didn't have to edit a ton of videos all the time, I probably wouldn't need a laptop. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that's how far along we've come with software, and it's just incredible that, you know, I'm able to handle pretty much everything I do on an iPad nowadays. Probably the only things that I don't like about this device after 1 year of use is, number one, the 32 gigs of storage. This is a 32 gig model. It's the $329 one. That's how you get the cheap one. You can get 128 gigs, but honestly, you're kind of getting out of like cheap iPad territory. I mean, maybe not so anymore because the iPad Air, the new one, is, you know, like what, $500? But still, you gotta think about that. 32 gigs in 2020, well, actually almost 2021, that's kind of crazy to me, especially when pretty much every Apple device has at least 64 gigs of base storage. 32 gigs is almost a joke, but you can make it work, and I have made it work. I mean, I have, you know, not a ton of things on this device. You know, this is how many apps I have, okay? Like, that's how many I got. And the reason why is because most things I do can be done through Safari now, because the full desktop class browsing. I'm currently using 18 gigabytes on this iPad of the 32, but a lot of that is the other storage that you have no idea what it is. And then also system storage keeps getting larger and larger because, well, iOS keeps getting larger and larger. So I imagine probably in the next year or so, we won't see 32 gigs anymore. We might not even see it next year, but Apple did keep it around for the 8th gen iPad, but they did bump up that processor, which is nice. But yeah, 32 gigs, that's probably my biggest complaint, really. If you do a lot of cloud-related things, like you store your files in the cloud, your pictures, things like that, you're not gonna have a ton of games or a ton of apps on this thing, you should be all right. But it's very important to note that 32 gigs can be a constraint nowadays. And the other thing too, which really doesn't bother me, but it does bother some people that I've noticed, is that non-laminated display. It's really noticeable, of course, if you're an Apple Pencil user. Basically what it means is there's gonna be a little gap between the pencil tip and the display. It doesn't bother me, but it does bother some people, so that would be my only other thing I don't like. But really, to sum this video up here, this is a great choice, and it's really the iPad for a lot of people. And I love this thing, I really do. And I'm glad that I decided to go for the full-size iPad. I'm glad I didn't get another mini. I'm glad I picked up the Apple Pencil. Yes, it's $100 and it's the old one, but I think it's worth it, I really do. The A10 chip, it's getting old. Who knows what's gonna happen? Future of this thing, I don't know what they're gonna do about it, because the A10 chip was in the iPhone 7, and you know, the last phone that supports the iOS 14 is the iPhone 6s. So, you know, there's rumors that that's gonna be dropped next year, and then you know what comes after that, the iPhone 7. So yeah, this thing's probably not gonna be around for, you know, many more years. It's probably gonna be one of the shortest time periods I keep an Apple product, because I usually keep all my stuff until I can't use it anymore. So yeah, that's the only thing future-wise that concerns me about this too, is that A10 chip. But yeah guys, I just want to make this quick video talking about the iPad 7th generation, just a little bit about my experience with it over the past year with this device. like I said, base iPad is a great option for a lot of people. It gets the job done and it's pretty quick and snappy, and you're going to be very impressed by it. Not a lot of negatives about this thing and a whole lot of positives. So that's just my experience, my final thoughts with the iPad 7th generation. If you want to see more about this device, I have tons of videos on the channel. You can go check out the unboxing, you can check out the full review, you can check out how I use this thing for school. Like, I made a whole video on how you can be a student and use this device no problem. And I even made a video discussing the 32 gig situation and what my storage looks like. But anyways, thank you all for watching as always. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to, it'd be nice. But anyways, guys, I'll see you all in the next video.